physical wealth. Hello, hello, hello. I know everybody's looking like, it's not Monday. It's not Monday. No, it's not Monday. But I told you, ring the bell because I am going to come on at different times. So today is a different time and it's a special today. We're going to talk about Corinthian colleges with my brother from another mother, Bobby. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, how's it going, sister?
It is going well. It is April 13, 2024, and Bobby is here with us. I was talking to Bobby, my brother from another mother, and man, it's like we've been together forever, Bobby, forever. And our birthday is
Yeah,
coming up. Our birthday
yeah,
coming,
it
bro.
sure is. Yeah, I want to say maybe exactly 3 weeks from today.
Oh, don't count, bro. Don't count. Yeah. Are you looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. It should be. I'm trying. I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna try to get that whole weekend off. I'm at that time. I'm already gonna be off on Thursday and Friday, so I'm just trying to complete the whole weekend.
I know that's right. The more time off, the better. Hello, Sean Anthony. Thank you for joining us. This is an interactive show, and we do encourage viewers to like, subscribe, share, ring the bell for notifications for when we're on, and to interact. Say something. Say something. Hey, sis, how you doing? Happy Saturday, everybody. So today I wanted to talk with Bobby about Corinthian colleges because quite some years ago, Bobby and I were talking about it. And when he told me about his experience, the first thing I did was pray for a brother because my heart went out to him. I was so proud of him and everything. What college did you go to, Bobby?
It was right there in Bedford Park, Everest.
Everest University. And that's also a Corinthian college, i.e., the name of this show today, Corinthian colleges. And it's like, where did those Corinthian colleges go? Whatever happened to the people? What? So it just so happens now, I don't go and, contrive these things. There's no possible way I could even fathom to try to create these things. So it's like, these things just unfold and they develop over time. And just so happens that I'm blessed to be in a position to know of certain things. But I most recently, given the time I've had on my hands and the situation I've been going through with the school I have been attending, which is also in California, where the headquarters for the Corinthian colleges were, come to find. Now, I didn't know that, but when I was talking to you the other day, Bobby, I was like, what in the
Hmm.
world? And I was like, my God. And I just kept praying and trying to figure things out and work it through. And I found out some information. But first, you want to tell us your experience about what you experienced at Everest. Why did you enroll there?
Well, at the time, I was working at I was working at I was working at a dead end job,
Okay,
and
okay.
I was working at a dead end job at the time, and I think at that time I posted it on Facebook. And I checked in on Facebook at that time, and I used and they said, what was on your mind, and I used the 4 words, looking for a change.
Oh, wow. And what year was that?
I want to say that was November of 2012.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yep, it was in November of 2012 when I went to orientation, and I think that's when I started school.
Hmm. And what was your
And
expectation when you enrolled into this school?
well, my expectation was I was gonna get I was gonna just do I want to do something better, because because freezing out in the cold every day and night for with for at the time for $10 an hour and little to no overtime. I guess that wasn't gonna cut it.
Yeah, I can definitely understand because the cost of living is so high. Even in 2012, it was really pretty high. And even now, it's even higher. So I can definitely understand you wanting to do something to get better. And there are studies that support that in order for us to advance in life, especially in America, we need to go and get an education that can support such an endeavor. And you did that. You went to Everest to get what was the degree again? Pharmacy.
Actually, I was pharmacy technician.
And I was so proud of you when you bought your coat, your white coat, and you said you were getting ready to graduate and everything was going so great because you invested time. It wasn't just the money. Now, the money is a big deal, but we trade the money for what we think and what we believe is going to be the end goal of improvement. Not just change, but improvement, because you were at a dead end job, you stated, and therefore you went to school, which means you wanted to improve your situation. And the books, the studies, they all support that. And you could buy my book if you want to know what all those studies are, because I do write about it in my book. And look for other writings that I've done, especially academic writing. But yeah, Bobby, I totally get where you're coming from. I agree, because that's why I enrolled in school. We'll pay, whatever the sacrifice is monetarily and within our personal life, we'll do that so that we can have that end goal of doing something better than where we are right now. So what came of that?
What came of it? When I first started, it seemed a little it seemed a little nerve wracking because I haven't been in a classroom in forever at that time.
Right, you graduated in what, 95?
Yeah, well, we graduated. Yeah, we walked across that stage, 1995.
And here it
Next
is,
year,
2012. You were in college again.
yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. And like I said, it was pretty. It seemed pretty. It was pretty. I was nervous at first.
Hmm.
Well, because I haven't been in a classroom in ages. I think the last time I was in a classroom was before I left Daly in 1999.
Okay. Yeah, I was there too. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and
That was like an extension of high school, really.
everything was in modules,
Yes.
and it was. And you know what? I did pretty good. I was holding on to that 4.0.
See, and that gave you what? Motivation, like, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm good at it. You encouraged, and now you spending more money and time and effort in this endeavor. Man, what came of the endeavor?
And I think, and at the time, at least for the first 2 or 3 modules,
Uh-huh.
I was the only guy in class.
What? You get some numbers? You get some phone numbers?
No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't my focus.
Yeah, I feel you.
That wasn't my focus, and everything. Like I said, everything turned out. Everything was moving positively, and I did. I had to do like I think it was like maybe 200 hours
Wow.
of externship afterward,
Oh my God. On
and
top
I
of having
did.
a job.
Yeah, I mean my class schedule, because at the time I was able to work on the weekends,
Uh-huh.
but during the week I was in class. I was in class. I think I was in class from, I think, 10 to 2.
Wow. My God. And then you worked after that?
Some nights I would go to work afterward.
That's commitment, man. That is commitment.
And then on the weekends, like on Saturdays and Sundays, I would work from 6 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon.
Wow. How many years did you do this?
Let me see. I started
2012.
Yeah, I started in December of 2012, and I graduated. I think I graduated. I want to say I graded out I think in September of 2013, and then after that, I was just going back periodically to practice because I already have my license from the state, but I need that certification for the job.
Mm. So they kept you coming back, huh?
Yeah, I can't. I kept going back to take the practice exam, and the program head was like, "Oh, you need like such and such percentage to pass." And the first time I took the practice test, I missed it by 6 percentage points.
Mm.
Because I think I needed like 82% to pass. I think I needed 82%. And I kept practicing, I kept reading, and because I think in January of 2015 we graduated right there in Orland Park.
And did you get the end goal? Was it the actual end goal or was it something else?
That was part of the end goal. The end game was to get certified.
Uh-huh. And was that
Because
possible? Was that truly possible to obtain that goal? Because from what I understand, Corinthian colleges closed under fraudulent circumstances because they were promising students one thing, and those things that they were promising were not true.
they weren't, and I guess we all seen those advertisements for Everest College on TV,
Yeah.
saying how, in other words, I'll put it like this: they talked a good game.
And at the end of the day, you were stuck with a bill and nothing else.
And yeah, pretty much I was stuck with I was stuck with that for years. And then I think it was in May of 20 I want to say May of 2015.
Hmm.
No, that was that was in May of 2014, I believe,
Yeah,
because
because
I
in
was
2015 they had some real issues, some
yeah,
legal issues.
no, it was in May of 2014 when my job of nearly 6 years let me go.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was so surprised by what happened, and my heart went out to you. And again, I prayed, but I was like trying to, be on the good side about it. Like, oh, that's okay because you have this schooling thing that it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off. You done paid all this time into it. You invested all this effort into it. It's about to pay off, and that's okay because you wanted to be a pharmacy tech anyway. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just finish it. How much longer you have? And then you called me when you and sent me the picture when you purchased your white coat. You were so happy. I was so happy for you. I was going through the emotions with you, bro.
Yeah, and then what was that? Yeah, it was, yeah, because at that time, my badge was about to expire, so I had to go to the office, I had to go to pick up my check, and I went to go get a badge form to get to fill out so I can, renew it.
Mm.
And come to find out, I was I was fired via an email
Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Like, why did they have to do it through an email? Like,
because I guess because at that time the station manager didn't have the backbone to tell me to my face.
wow. Yeah, much like these Corinthian colleges didn't have the backbone to speak to their shareholders, their stockholders,
No,
when
they
all that
didn't.
they didn't answer anybody's questions. I did some research the other day when we were talking about it because I was like, well, I'm done with this PhD, so let me just go ahead and look further into what you were saying because that conversation kept coming up, and I'm like, my God, am I missing something? Am I missing a sign here? So I started to look into it, and I saw that the Corinthian colleges is a private institution where they're headquarters is located in California. And it's like, whatever came of those Corinthian colleges? Well, let's see here. I wrote it down. So I noticed that, it was one of the largest for profit schools at the time. You were a part of something big, Bobby. I thought at first, University of Phoenix, but I don't think that they were out at the time, were they? It was more geared towards helping military members to complete their colleges because the different locations they would be in, the college credits wouldn't transfer across the board. So the University of Phoenix saw the gap and they filled the gap and started to offer schooling to military families. And I was a part of the military family. So I kept looking into how do I finish school because I started but I didn't get a chance to finish. And I'm like, well, I didn't get a chance to finish before I had to leave Chicago and travel abroad and out here and there with my husband because he was active duty. You remember Eddie from high school. But anyway,
Hmm.
so I found that Corinthian colleges were based in California, but they operate all over the US. And the thing about the Corinthian colleges is that it closed down in 2015 after multiple lawsuits and investigations into fraudulent behavior. Now, there's a case, and I'm going to provide the information. But all you have to do is Google because it's currently available via Google. Corinthian colleges closed down. Just Google that, and you'll see multiple things. And you can also find the case. I'm not going to mention the case number here, but you can find the case number where this situation did take judgment because it was very difficult for students to sue. Did you find that? Did you try to sue, Bobby?
No, I didn't, and no, I didn't. No, I guess I was just. I guess, like I said, at that time, I just didn't want to deal with it anymore
Yeah.
because I was already dealing with the disappointment of not being able to finish my story, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Not to mention, I gave nearly 6 years of my life to this ratchet company that I pretty much showed up when nobody else did. And you know what? This was the thanks I got.
Wow. Well, I found that the the target audience were low income families. So basically, those Corinthian colleges, they targeted low income families. That means that if you would look back over their record, you might not find people who actually had a substantial income who was trying to use that resource to improve their gainful employment status, if you will. But
Hmm.
at Corinthian College's peak, uh, they took in over, what is it, $1 billion in fraudulent finances and um, federal aid and funds annually. That's a lot of money, especially because the schools then, they were more brick and mortar, not online and not all this what is it, vocational type of schooling. So it was like you trying something new and you're like, oh well, let me, they've been, Everest at that time had been going on for quite a while, and it's like I'm not new, so they may
I
have gotten
mean, yeah,
themselves together.
they've had, you know what? They've had multiple campuses
Yes, they did
all over,
across the
like all
US.
over. Yeah, they had campuses all over. They had because I was at the campus in Bedford Park, right there on 75th and Cicero. My cousin was taking massage therapy at the campus in Marionette Park, right off 115.
And they had multiple locations. They were stationed in various places all over the US. So it was not just Illinois, it was other states. So I can understand how you would look at it like, oh well, this is not something new. This could probably work for me. So you had it on good authority to go into this with the idea that they could actually accomplish the goals that they had lured you to get. And some people may ask, what came of schools, um, such a school academic status? What happened to those people who were running those schools? What happened to the stockholders and shareholders and all the students? We're gonna get you there. We're gonna get you there because we definitely won't get it through at this time because there's multiple pages of, and I'm still learning more. But via screenshots, I can show you screenshots that show different evidence that I found, especially of the different case studies. I edited so you cannot see the case study number, but if you Google these words, you will definitely find it because I don't want anybody, saying, oh, well, you said, no, I didn't defraud anybody. I did not tell you anything other than the actual facts. And if the facts get altered, I have screenshots to cover my butt. So this is not my opinion.
Exactly.
This is not Bobby's opinion. These are lived experiences. Like DeVry University was actually on that list of, bogus colleges that got shut down for fraudulent behavior. So, look at the website. Also look at Attorney General Rob Bonta, who I might be slaughtering his name. It may be Bonta or I don't know, but he sued the Department of Ed 3 times or twice for unlawful delaying critical regulations which protected students who attended the predator for-profit schools like California's Corinthian colleges. And he also looked for California General Attorney, what is it, Xavier Becerra, Becerra. Becerra, thank you. And in 2017, he filed a lawsuit against for against them for unlawfully delaying students' protections, such as regulations aimed at protecting students from deceptive practices and fraud by the name of borrower defense regulations. So you can look that up as well. Borrower defense regulations. How did that come about? But those already victimized would have far less protection. So loan forgiveness streamlines exist. Did you experience a loan forgiveness, Bobby?
Yes, I did. I was. I want to say it was in. I don't want to say it was in October of. I think it was October of last year.
Last year, bro. Were you paying on that already?
No, because I didn't make enough. But I received a letter. I think it was in November. I think it was in October of last year. when I received a letter from the U.S. Department of Education stating that my loan was discharged.
Bro, how many years was that? And you were still accountable. It's still on your credit report, and it's still holding you down and holding you back. So you were still being victimized of, and the school was shut down legally in 2015, shortly after you even enrolled. Man, that is not right. And it's like we don't know what's happening, and like you said, you don't want to be bothered with all the extra stress and everything, so you just put it on the back burner and put it out of your mind. Meanwhile, these jobs and these other people that's looking at our credit report, they not looking at it that way. And it's like, they should have done something better and sooner than
Yeah, you're right. They should have, but like I said, at the time, it was because when I found out that the Everest shut down,
mm-hmm.
and then after that, that was when I lost my job.
Hmm. Man, well, they had also something in the contract that a lot of students didn't know about, and I'm sure you probably didn't know about, but the schools were banned from including or enforcing certain arbitration provisions or class action waivers in their enrollment agreements. So if you would have tried to sue the school, then there was something in there that might have stated something that would obstruct you from actually being successful in the endeavor, which is why the attorney general had to intervene. And in each state's attorney general had to look into it and get involved to sue on behalf of the students because this arbitration clause, which obstructed justice. Can you believe that? And it's like, where did these predators go? They're still there.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them, even to this day, they're probably in hiding.
Oh, they not in hiding, bro. They out there, but they're not. It's just like when you sell a house. It should be very transparent. Oh, just like the house leaks or had a situation, it should be transparent that, oh, under this person's leadership, the Corinthian college is closed. Oh, under these people's leaderships, especially when you have it as a trade, you open up on a trade market. The stockholders and shareholders, they should know. Everyone should know what happened under your leadership, under your guidance. And the fact that you didn't feel obligated to even answer the stockholders' questions, the shareholders' questions, the participants' questions. You didn't feel obligated to answer anybody, and they invested all this money.
Apparently not. Apparently they did not, because I was because like in the because at the, in the meantime, in between time, then I was sending letters to the the U.S. Department of Education, letting
What?
them know that I was a part of a school that shut down due to fraudulent reasons. So at that time, I was also, doing the paperwork to to get that dissolved and taken off my credit report.
And not until 2023 after all these years. Come on, bro. That's no. And the laws are supposed to protect and provide relief to injured students for those for profit schools that were publicly traded, but not even the stockholders were aware of the details. So it wasn't just you. And it's like in 2009 through 2010, taxpayers invested $32 billion into for-profit schools, which is more than the annual budget for the U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. Department of State. Um, so again, share the website, look it up on that same information on that case number, that case that you'll find of the lawsuit that took place and took judgment. It was a judgment imposed, but it's like the the actual problem isn't really being addressed. Meanwhile, employees of the for-profit schools, they don't even pay them. They don't pay them much at all. But they sure act like they getting the money because they gotta press you in order for you to invest the funds into the school. And to the point of harassment even.
Yeah, and that's yeah, and they all yeah, and trust me, I think we've all experienced that at some point in time. How how the recruiters,
Huh? Yeah.
they make everything, they make everything sound, they make everything sound so appealing when really all they're doing is just blowing smoke up your keister.
Yeah, because they don't even tell you that these high loans, they have a high default rate on the loans, and the students are seeing whether they graduate or not. They're seeing unemployment rates that they're really living that experience. So 25%, give or take, default on their loans within 3 years of graduation, and half of those graduates default on the loan after the fact. So for profit students are more likely to face unemployment after leaving school because student degrees may be questionable in the value. Now, see, they don't tell you that. Oh, if you go to this school, your degree might be questionable trying to get a gig after this. So don't get your hopes up. Who's gonna pay 30 to 50, maybe even $70,000 that they don't have while working a dead end job just to hear, oh, well, if you, even though you graduate, your degree still could be questionable on trying to get a good job after this.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what happened with me because when they shut down, it seemed like it seemed like all the credits that I did have couldn't transfer over to someplace else.
Did that surprise you?
Well, at the time it did, and
Wow.
I was like, and I guess I was thinking at that time, you know what? What else? I was thinking, what else can go wrong?
Yeah, I
These
totally
credits
get it.
couldn't- these credits don't transfer over to no place else, and and before I can finish the job, they shut down, and I got fired from a place I was there for nearly 6 years.
Yeah, it's hard to get over investing so much time at an organization just for them to let you go. And we went to high school with a chick who was employed at her job for 19 years. And on that 19th year, when she was about to retire, I'm not going to say the name of the company, but it's a company we all participate in. They let her go instead of giving her what she worked for 19 years because she was working there when we were in college. But back to these Corinthian colleges, it's like the enrollment increased significantly in for-profit schools. And you can see that by looking at the Department of Ed, National Center for Education statistics that happened in May of 2017, which was directly after the 2015 shutdown of the Corinthian colleges. And it's like, wait a minute. These colleges are shutting down because they're known to be predatory schools, and they're convincing people, especially stockholders and shareholders, to come in on this investment endeavor with the false hope that they got it together. I know when I was in school trying to get my PhD, and I ran into some conflict with the executive administration, trying to tell them, "Hey, I'm encountering some problems that seem like a bit extraordinary for I'm accustomed to." And I saw in researching that the border the board of trustees had a meeting, and these public records are accessible to anyone who looks for them. So look for it. And I didn't know what to look for. I'm just looking and searching. I'm praying and I'm like, God, what is going on? And I saw the meeting notes. And in the meeting notes of the Board of Trustees, I did not know that the meeting was taking place in order to change the name of the school by merging with another school. And it's like, where did those Corinthian colleges go? And then that question come up. Listen, the shareholders and the board of trustee members had the meeting, and in that meeting someone said, well, those students who complained, like you and I, Bobby, when we bring up these valid points, the response was, oh, well, those are concerns of people, those are false concerns made by people who did not meet the requirements. Those are sour grapes from people who didn't make the cut. Can you imagine that being said about you? When you did everything, you sacrificing, you going to a dead-end job, trying to do better with your life, and you trusting these people telling you what? Now you reduced to sour grapes? Can you see that?
Oh no, no, not at all. It seems like it wasn't so. Those grapes weren't so sour when you when you was collecting that money. Now was it?
Man, you said a mouthful, because guess what, bro? They still collecting even more than that back then. That was like 2017. They're still collecting way more than that now. Look at how many of these schools have popped up. Look how much they're trading over stocks. And it's like when you open these things up for trade, those records are more public than they were before. And more people are going to start looking into it, like, what's really going on? What's happening here? Because a lot of people, especially in our age group, they're looking to invest in stuff so they don't have to work all the days of their life. But these people who are luring people into these predatory schools, they're only trained to know students in dire financial straits. And it's like, I was wondering, how did they even know to tell me, to hold me back and try to convince me that I need to go and get an extra student loan? Well, you got to go get more student loans. Did you have that problem? Did they call you and tell you, oh yeah, well, in order to continue, you have to keep taking out student loans?
No, I don't think I was. I don't think so. No, not at that time.
How did
Because I
you
think I had. Let me see. Oh, I forgot. I forgot the company that did it. But I think I was approved for like two of them at that time,
Hmm.
and they
Well,
were, and now they're both dissolved.
Well, from my experience, what I've come to learn and what I've heard a lot of other students say is that they were pressed by their academic advisor or whomever it is to tell them how to apply for more student loans. And currently, the FAFSA, the student loans, are experiencing a great deal of problems because they wild out with it. They try to get students who have parents to sign loans for their student to continue with schooling, because it's just not enough to get the student. You got to get the parents too. So there's been a big backup and a delay with that. But I was pressed personally from my experience. I was extremely pressed to get extra funds because I learned that they pinged my bank account to see if I had funds to pay for the class, the upcoming class. And online schools cost for these for-profit predator schools cost a whole lot more for their convenience of being online or distant learning or more geared towards your lifestyle. They cost more than the brick and mortar schools do. I guess it's inconvenience, but you pay for you pay for it in more ways than you think. Most profits schools our career or vocational programs, and many students are unable to get jobs in their career even after completing their program. And it's like, why? Why? So not only do you press me to get more money from me, and I do have the evidence to support that, um, but you also make it difficult, but you know it's going to be difficult for me to get any kind of job thereafter. And then you keep pressing me to get in deeper debt. So now not only can I not get a good job, but I'm getting more and more in debt. Was it stressful to be in that kind of debt?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it was because, like I said, at the time I was at a dead end job, and I was making like $10 an hour.
Man, I don't know how you survive, bro. But they disproportionately, this is what the case study found. Everything that I'm telling you is what the case study found. Stuff in my living. Disproportionately harmed low income families and residents of color, um, and minority serving institutions. And and that jumped out at me because I'm like, wait a minute, it includes military service members because there's acknowledgments, but it also is much leniency via permissive avenues of using loopholes to continue this kind of behavior, like Corinthian colleges who merge with other colleges or change their name, so you're not even aware that this is a part of the Corinthian college system. That's why I hate that word system, because these people they get away with so much under the guise of, oh, that was just the system. So forgiving loans, loan forgiveness will otherwise they have to be resolved. And then we have this situation. I know you saw it on the news where everybody's like, well, why we gotta pay for these people who went to college? Why we Do you understand what's happening, how they were victimized and who was victimized? The issues were being
Mhm.
addressed to to secure future borrowers and nothing else. So that means, Bobby, should we go to school or our children go to college, that's all they wanted to do, was to, fix it just enough so they can secure future borrowers and not tell us nothing. They still not being
Mhm.
transparent about certain things.
Yeah, and even though, and if you you watch the news, all back and forth last year and the year before, how President Biden was fighting to get was fighting for student loan forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
and then here come the Republicans trying to shut it down.
Yeah. And you got to ask yourself, who sit in the boards of these types of systems? Who's profiting the most from these types of systems? While stockholders and shareholders and other investors are losing big, somebody's still gaining leaps and bounds, significant. Um, and I really appreciate you being on with me, Bob, because I know you sleepy and you should be sleep instead of sitting here talking to me about some stuff that happened so long ago. But it's still relevant today as we're watching the news talk about student loan forgiveness, as we're not aware because of the lack of transparency of what came of these people who were behind these Corinthian college systems. Because via the mimetic isomorphism and absorptive capacity, we're seeing that this is not secluded to one location, like you may have thought when you were going to Everest at the school you going to, and you may have thought, oh well, it's just here in Illinois. No, it was all over the US, and it continues even now. But
Wow.
they say it's the institution's responsibility to repay the government for the finances. But stockholders, are you aware what you're getting involved in when you're going to invest in this stuff?
No, I think a lot of times they aren't because they're more. I think they're more concerned with. I think a lot of times they're more concerned with lining their pockets, if you will.
And I'm gonna tell you, the case study does. It's not a case study; it was a judgment. It was a public um, posted judgment against the schools. But yes, those laws, those legal papers do support exactly what you are saying right there, very succinctly. They are only concerned with how much money they can get. But if student borrowers, stockholders, and patrons of nonprofit or for-profit schools were aware their institution has judgments against it, how many people would have made different decisions? If you knew that the school had a judgment against it, would you be inclined to join that school after your hesitation?
You know what? Probably not. But like the saying goes, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, but um should it be only in hindsight that we should be aware of what we're getting ourselves into, especially stockholders? Because can you imagine not knowing what to invest in, and here comes this hot new thing, and it's like, you can invest in this. We saw that with Bitcoin. You can invest in this, and this is going to pay out. It's going to pay out. And then suddenly coming to find that they were a part of the Corinthian colleges that you once knew about, but there was no transparency in you knowing about it when you're investing under a different name.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't even. I don't think a lot of them understand that because if those particular colleges get dragged into a lawsuit and guess what? I think the shareholders, their names are going to be on that. Their names are going to be on that affidavit as well.
But see, there's some legal things that I've also noticed with that too, bro. See, they covered themselves with that. And they don't make us aware of that either. That if, and it's like, so in which methods you're gonna prey on me. You know what you're gonna do to use me and take my money and steal my money, but then you legally protect yourself to make it possible that you can do it, and I can't sue you. I
Honestly, that's borderline theft by deception.
Yes, it is. But at the same time, they have these loopholes. Like I said on previous shows, when they are writing laws, they are also in the process of writing the loopholes. Because when I was looking at this study the other day, not the study, but this judgment, I was like, oh my God. So what I said was about the delay. They made a delay in providing relief because they were in the process of writing these loopholes so that they can get away with it. They're being reductive to belittle the years stolen to a dollar amount of skills. Professional deceit is like falsely claiming these behaviors are victimless crimes. It's like, wait a minute. You stole years. You didn't just steal my money. I was looking to improve my life, not just get a better job. You had a job already. You could get a job. You wanted to be a pharmaceutical technician for what? Why'd you want to be a pharmaceutical technician, Bobby?
To improve to improve my life. You know what? Because you know what I mean. Because there was no way I was gonna get the things that I wanted and the life I want to live working no dead end job with like and it's like I said before. It had they had like little to no overtime.
And a pharmacy tech, they don't need overtime really, because a pharmacy technician is going to get paid far more than the jobs that you could easily get without having a pharmacy tech type of position. So you definitely wanted to improve the opportunities that you have. And it's like, wait a minute, not only can I not improve the opportunities that I have, but you reduce them still in my life down to a dollar amount, and then I'm not even properly compensated financially. All you doing is trying to what? Excuse the loans. What about my time? We need to start asking better questions. We ask the wrong questions in America. What about the time I invested in these endeavors and you stole that from me? We want compensation. Compensation is not a repayment for, oh, this is what you took out. Let me give it back to you. No, 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 no. You lured me with a promise and a dream, and I want what I was promised. And God is definitely blessing you, Bobby, because I promise you, you have had extreme success in moving forward from this problem. And I just want to say I am very proud of you. You are a very good example of moving forward despite all the goddamn problems the enemy has thrown at you. You doing something really significant, and people should know, you know, of how well you're doing. You know, you had some problems that really hindered you, um and now you have a testimony of how long you have come out of a big accomplishment, that you've come out of this problem. How many years has it been since you've
Well, November of this year, November 8th, will be 8 years.
wow, 8 years? What?
8 years alcohol free.
Alcohol free, bro. Alcohol free. Bobby, there are studies. It's Breyer and Newman who have shown studies um, years ago, I want to say a couple of decades, where they showed that the stress derived from these things can cause many problems, to include drinking, to include
Yeah.
gambling, to include cancer, even.
Well, a couple of those I can attest to
I'm sure.
because I think it was in January. It was in January of 2015 when I found out that I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Wow. And it didn't just come out the blue. Hey, Phil, thank you for joining us. And studies over a couple of decades ago came up with this understanding, and we still live in this experience right now. And we're learning that they're targeting low income families. Low income families are the ones that are essential workers, happens to be. Now we're not
Yeah,
trying to get rich. We're just trying to not be in poverty. Were you trying to get rich?
yeah, no, not trying to get rich. Hell, you don't want to be homeless either.
Right, exactly. Especially false promises can lead you to homelessness. Yes, Phil, stress can kill, and these studies support it. Now, y'all gonna have to buy my book. I'm almost out of time. You're gonna have to buy my book because it's showing you everything I can't show you in just this little time that I come on these specials, and on Mondays at 6 o'clock CST. I try to do it at 6 o'clock because 5 o'clock was a little too stressful for me to try to juggle and try to hurry up and get on. And hopefully 6 o'clock will be a little better for me. But a lot of times we don't know what came of these predators. And we don't really know. Let me show you this shocker. We really don't know who the target is. They are targeting low income families. But who you think paying the most into this? Those very stockholders that they don't even respect enough to tell them, look, this is some shady BS because we already got caught on these problems before, and there's a whole judgment against us. There's lawsuits against us. There's class action suits against us. We don't know that going in trying to invest, and we should. We should be able to
Yeah.
make informed decisions. That's what they say, don't they? We need to make informed decisions. How can we make informed decisions if they lying to us?
Yeah, and it's always. I mean, I guess that's with corporate America. It's always been a lack of transparency.
And is that legal? Yes, these loopholes make it legal.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's
But
why
when
you're seeing. Go ahead.
but when he said that that stress can that stress can kill you quick, it could also it could also lead you to drink more than you should, and I know something about that.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do, Bobby, but you took the steps that led you to where you are today, well overcome. And it wasn't by, any other means but you getting a stronger relationship with God for yourself. And it wasn't done in a institution of faith. It was you and your prayers, your crying out. And I know I was there with you and praying for you and everything in spirit, not in more of a of your own will get you through it. And it has. You're a big testimony to that.
Yeah, that means a lot. But I think and I'll end it with this one. It was, but I guess, but eventually you get sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yes.
It was it was November 8th of 2016 when that was when I poured my last drink.
Wow. And you've been strong ever since. The thing about when
Not ever. Well, at first no, because when I and this could be for another show, but I'll just give you a snippet.
uh-huh.
At first, I mean, in the beginning, it was extremely difficult because I didn't have that coping mechanism anymore.
Mm,
So all of those repressed feelings
mm,
came out.
mm-hmm.
All those feelings of, abandonment, rejection, just, uh, just overall sadness.
Mm.
But that's another story for another day.
But you know what? It's like people feel like when God is helping us with things, it's like it's supposed to be immediate. You could take pharmaceutical drugs and even that won't be immediate. Even that's not long lasting. But when God do something, it is well done because God's grace and mercy is sufficient for you. It is not a blanketed panacea that is going to say, okay, everybody's not going through the same things. And everybody was not blessed that they could do that like you did without anybody else physical presence. And then they rely on that person, and that person becomes their coping mechanism, the reason why they can get through it. And then when that person is no longer there, they go right back to that problem of that coping mechanism. But you were delivered from it completely because you didn't latch yourself on to another person. Nobody was around. It was you. And then God waited until you were strong enough in order to put more people into your life that were more positive and keep you in the direction in which you need to continue on to be successful in your life without falling back on to those poor coping mechanisms. So I'm happy for you. And yes, we need to do that in another show because people do need to know, how did you do it if you didn't go to an institution of faith in order for them to pray you off of it in order to put you on the altar and say, hey, get out of that boy. He don't need to have that demon of alcoholism. And so we definitely would love to hear how you did it and how you continue to do it. But all the while, I'm praying that you continue to stay strong. Don't let nothing bring you down. Don't go back to that, because that's not where you should be. You've been glowing and growing. You getting cut, you getting tight. I saw your pictures you be posting on Facebook and social media. You working out and doing so much better with your life and traveling and everything that you're doing. You couldn't do that if you were stuck investing all your money into the bottom of that bottle.
Nope, you couldn't, because you found it's like you found something better.
Much better.
And this past Monday, I became the first guy, and I became the first guy in my immediate family to have a passport.
What? Yeah, congratulations again. I didn't know you the first though. Phil said he pray you stay strong and on the right path, brother. Thank you,
Thank
Phil.
you. Thank you so much.
Phil's a good guy. He stay cool. He is always cool mannered, and he's a pretty cool guy. He's got a really great wife. But anyway,
Yeah, I'm saying though. I'm saying my sisters. They have theirs,
uh-huh.
but as far as like me and my brothers go, I'm the first one.
Oh, so you're the first guy. Hey, sometimes guys are like, look, I don't see the point, and they get a little narrow sighted. And yeah, sometimes it does take a little bit of pushing to get you to not be as narrow minded and to venture out. So I'm definitely happy that you were, doing some things, and you the first brother to, see the benefit in doing so. But I can't wait till you post up those pictures to show us where you've been, and show us that even through it all, you still staying strong and staying out that bottle. And there's no answers down there. It's only a lot of your money being wasted down there.
Very much. Yeah, very much so. Like I said, you get tired of the hangovers. You get tired of the stomach issues, and it seems like every time, like whenever you wake up in the morning, that's a bad sign. Whenever you wake up in the morning and the
Mm-hmm.
first place you head to is the liquor store. Yeah, because
Wow.
there was one by the house right there on 59th and Ashland. They opened their doors and this is a true story. They opened their doors at 7:15,
Mm.
and sometimes I would be one of the first ones there.
Wow. Wow, bro.
Whether it's whether it's like whether it was like cranberry juice or a pint of vodka or just cans of malt liquor.
Mm.
But like I said, that was my coping mechanism, because I didn't want to deal with a lot. I didn't want to deal with the I guess I didn't want to deal with what was going on, because I was even you know what even something that happened to me back in 2009 when I was in a situationship. But like I said, at that time it felt real to me. And when I was cut off for no apparent reason, that stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people say, yeah, you need to let it go. You need to let it go. Well, in a way, they're right, but that's not how my brain works.
That's not how a lot of people brain work, Bobby. When we are convinced of something, like with these Corinthian colleges, when we are lured with a dream for a purpose, and we have this goal that we're endeavoring towards, it is not easy to just shut your brain off and say, oh, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. Like, wait, what? It's a process, just like the process to get into these situationships and these Corinthian colleges and these things that we desire, because the human hierarchy of human needs say, look, pursue this happiness, do this, do that, and you try to do that, and it's like what? Disappointing, to the extent where yes, it can make you look for coping mechanisms that can harm you. Teddy says it was a way of repressing your feelings, some sublimation. What takes place in many forms, destructive, constructive. Yeah, he's trying to be a psychologist. He's got good points.
He does. He does.
And he says
He
he's glad
learned.
to get it out.
He learned well.
Yeah, I don't know if it was subliminal so much, but yeah, but it takes place in different forms of how we don't even know how we get ourselves into these messes. I can't even tell you how you could be, unintentionally, unwittingly drug into these problems, just trying to get, do something better with your life. But I'm
Yeah,
happy to make it
yeah,
out.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And you know what? And that's not even and it's not fair. But it's a but like it says, a time and unforeseen occurrences befall us all. But
Yeah.
but in harmony with that, I wanted to say that at that time I was so, before, when I was at this dead end job, when I was dealing with that situationship, when it was broken off, it's like I couldn't. I mean, I'm gonna be, and this is a very true story.
Mhm.
I would, I couldn't even go to unless I drink something. I couldn't even fall. I couldn't even go to sleep.
Wow. Yeah, and
And
I misread Teddy's statement. It says sublimitation takes place in many forms, destructive or constructive. And I'm a lot of times I have to apologize because I'm not good with this camera and this mic and seeing the time that I'm out of time. But yeah, I totally get it, and I don't want to cut you off. I definitely want to give you time on a different show. I don't like the shows to go beyond the hour because that is far too long for one person to sit down and watch these shows. But yeah, definitely come back and tell us more about your situation, because yeah, a lot of times we don't know how, and we don't believe it's possible that we can go to a God that we can't feel, touch, and see, and he can deliver us from these problems in the way that he delivered you. It's like, that's not possible. Who's doing that? Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee did that.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well that's
But I know you're out of time. But like I said, I'm off next Saturday if you wanna explore that side of it.
if you want to. I want,
Yeah,
like I told
yeah,
you
let's
before,
do
I
that.
do what you want to do. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, I'm off. Yeah, I'm off next Saturday, so we'll do it again then.
Okay, good deal. And you stay strong, bro. You have a strong testimony. A lot of people do not believe. And it's like, how can they believe unless they have a modern day example? So you went through it, so everybody else who don't believe can know how to go through it. Stay strong, bro. All right, I'll talk to you after the show. Teddy, take us out of here.
Copy that.